6-year-old Tommy Chen was playing on the monkey bars at Riverside Park when a stranger approached and led him away while his mother Sarah was distracted for just 30 seconds. Within minutes, Tommy had vanished without a trace, taken by someone who seemed to know exactly when and how to strike. But Tommy had a secret weapon that his kidnapper never saw coming: Rex, his loyal German Shepherd mix, who had been waiting in the family car. When Rex caught Tommy's scent trail leading away from the playground, the determined dog broke free and began a 50-mile tracking mission through 3 counties that would prove the unbreakable bond between a boy and his 4-legged best friend. Welcome to Saved by Tales. Before we dive into this heart-pounding story of a dog's relentless determination to find his missing boy, tell me in the comments, have you ever witnessed an animal's ability to track someone across incredible distances? And if you believe these incredible stories of animal loyalty and tracking abilities deserve to be shared, hit that subscribe button and join our community, celebrating the 4-legged heroes who never give up on bringing their families home. Tommy Chen was everything a 6-year-old should be: energetic, trusting, and completely absorbed in the joy of playground equipment. His mother Sarah brought him to Riverside Park every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, a routine that had become as predictable as clockwork over the past 6 months. Sarah worked as a freelance graphic designer and used Tommy's playground time to catch up on phone calls with clients while keeping one eye on her son. It was a system that had worked perfectly until the day someone else was watching too. Marcus Webb had been observing the Chen family's routine for 3 weeks. He knew that Sarah always sat on the bench nearest the monkey bars, that she typically received important business calls around 3:30 am, and that Tommy was adventurous enough to wander toward the parking lot if something caught his attention. Webb appeared to be just another parent at the playground, middle-aged, casually dressed, carrying a coffee cup and occasionally checking his phone. He'd even brought a small child's toy to leave on a bench, giving him a reason to linger in the area without arousing suspicion. Tommy's such a social kid, Sarah later told police. He talks to everyone: other parents, older kids, maintenance workers. I was always trying to teach him about stranger danger, but he just saw the world as full of potential friends. Rex, Tommy's 3-year-old German Shepherd mix, usually accompanied them to the park but waited in the family SUV with the windows cracked for air. The dog was protective of Tommy, but well-trained enough to stay in the vehicle during playground visits. At exactly 3:32 p.m. on October 12th, Sarah's phone rang with a call from her biggest client about an urgent project deadline. She answered while keeping Tommy in her peripheral vision as he played on the monkey bars with 2 other children. The conversation was important enough that Sarah walked a few steps away from the playground equipment to hear better over the noise of playing children. For approximately 30 seconds, she turned her back to scan the parking lot while discussing project details. That 30 seconds was all Marcus Webb needed. "Hey buddy," Webb said to Tommy as he approached the monkey bars. "Did you lose a red toy truck? I found one by my car and thought it might be yours." Tommy, always helpful and curious, immediately wanted to see the truck. Webb guided him away from the other children, chatting in a friendly tone about Tommy's playground skills and asking if he'd like to see something cool in his car. By the time Sarah ended her call and turned back toward the playground, Tommy was gone. "Tommy," Sarah called, scanning the playground equipment with growing panic. "Tommy, where are you?" The other children hadn't seen where Tommy went. Parents and caregivers in the area began helping Sarah search, checking behind equipment and calling Tommy's name throughout the park. Within 5 minutes it became clear that Tommy wasn't just hiding or exploring, he was gone. Sarah's frantic call to 911 brought police to Riverside Park within 10 minutes, but precious time had already been lost. Officer Patricia Morrison, who specialized in child abduction cases, immediately began interviewing witnesses and securing the scene. "We have a narrow window for recovery," Officer Morrison explained to Sarah as detective units arrived. The first few hours are critical in child abduction cases, but as officers began their investigation, they discovered something that would change the entire search dynamic. Rex was no longer in the Chen family's SUV. The car window was broken from the inside, Detective Ray Santos observed as he examined the vehicle. "It looks like your dog forced his way out of the car." Sarah's heart sank further. Not only was Tommy missing, but now Rex was loose somewhere, possibly injured from breaking through the car window. The day had gone from bad to worse. "Rex never leaves the car," Sarah told the officers. "He's perfectly trained to wait no matter how long we're gone. Something must have made him panic." But Detective Santos noticed something else: scratch marks on the car door frame and small drops of blood that appeared to be from Rex's paws, suggesting the dog had been determined to get out quickly. What if the dog sensed something was wrong? Santos suggested to his partner. What if he detected that Tommy was in distress? While police units spread out to begin their search for Tommy, Rex was already miles ahead of them, following a scent trail that only he could detect. The German Shepherd mix had broken through the SUV window the moment he smelled fear and distress associated with Tommy's presence in an unfamiliar vehicle. Rex had caught the scent as Webb's car passed by the parking lot with Tommy inside. The dog's acute senses detected not just Tommy's familiar smell, but the chemical signatures of fear and confusion that indicated his boy was in serious trouble. Following scent trails came naturally to Rex, who had German Shepherd genetics and had been informally trained by Tommy's father before his deployment overseas. The dog understood the difference between Tommy's normal scent and the distress markers that now demanded immediate action. Rex began his tracking mission by following the scent trail from the parking lot to the main road, where Webb's car had turned toward the highway. The determined dog padded along the roadside, nose to the ground, ignoring traffic and focused entirely on finding Tommy. Police issued an Amber Alert within 2 hours of Tommy's disappearance, but they had little information to work with. No clear description of the abductor, no vehicle information, and no witnesses who had seen the actual abduction occur. Child abductions happen fast, Detective Santos explained to Sarah as FBI agents joined the investigation. The perpetrator was obviously watching and waiting for the right moment. Meanwhile, reports began coming in of a large dog seen traveling along Highway 89, heading east away from Riverside Park. Multiple drivers called to report a German Shepherd mix walking along the busy highway, but animal control units hadn't been able to locate the dog. That has to be Rex, Sarah told the investigators. He's following Tommy. I know he is. Dogs don't typically track scent trails along highways. It's too dangerous, and there are too many competing smells from traffic. But as more reports came in describing the dog's purposeful movement and apparent destination-oriented behavior, the investigators began to consider that Rex might actually be tracking Tommy's abductor. The dog stayed as close to the road as possible while avoiding oncoming traffic, following the scent trail that Webb's car had left behind. Good Samaritans attempted to rescue Rex, assuming he was lost or abandoned, but the dog avoided all human contact. His focus was entirely on the tracking mission, and any distraction could cause him to lose the trail he was following. We got several calls about the dog, reported State Trooper Mike Johnson. People were worried about his safety on the highway, but every time someone tried to help him, he'd move away and continue heading east. He seemed to know exactly where he was going. Rex traveled for over 6 hours, covering nearly 20 miles before stopping to rest near a truck stop outside the town of Millerville. Even during his break, the dog remained alert, nose working constantly to maintain contact with Tommy's scent trail. Truck drivers at the stop noticed Rex and tried to offer him food and water, but again, the dog avoided human contact. His mission was clear, and nothing was going to distract him from finding Tommy. By evening, police had tracked Rex's progress using reports from concerned drivers and had begun to follow his route in reverse, hoping the dog might lead them to Tommy's location. FBI agent Rodriguez coordinated with local law enforcement to monitor Rex's journey without interfering with his tracking mission. If this dog is actually following the abductor's trail, we need to let him continue, Agent Rodriguez decided. He might be our best chance of finding Tommy. At 9:47 p.m., Rex reached the outskirts of Cedar Falls, a small town 50 miles from Riverside Park. The dog's behavior changed as he approached a rural residential area, becoming more agitated and focused. Local police, who had been alerted to watch for Rex, observed the dog circling a modest house on Pine Street. Rex positioned himself near the front door and began a pattern of quiet whining and scratching that suggested Tommy was inside. The dog's alerting, Officer Jennifer Walsh radioed to her dispatcher. He's definitely focused on this address. FBI agents and local SWAT units surrounded the house on Pine Street while Rex maintained his vigil near the front door. The dog seemed to understand that official help had arrived and positioned himself where he could assist if needed. Marcus Webb, this is the FBI, Agent Rodriguez announced through a bullhorn. We have the building surrounded. Release the child and come out with your hands visible. There was no immediate response from inside the house. Agents used thermal imaging equipment to detect 2 heat signatures, one adult-sized and one child-sized, in what appeared to be the basement area. Tommy Chen, if you can hear this, we're here to take you home, Agent Rodriguez called. Your mum is waiting for you, and Rex is here too. At the mention of Rex's name, the dog barked sharply, as if adding his own message to Tommy. That bark seemed to trigger movement inside the house. Tommy appeared at a basement window, pressing his hands against the glass when he heard Rex barking. The sight of his dog after hours of terror brought the first smile to the 6-year-old's face since his abduction. Rex, Tommy called through the window. You found me. Marcus Webb, realizing his situation was hopeless, surrendered without resistance. He was taken into custody while paramedics checked Tommy for injuries and prepared him for reunion with his family. Rex, who had tracked Tommy across 50 miles of highway and rural roads, was finally allowed to approach his boy. The reunion was emotional and powerful. Tommy dropped to his knees and hugged Rex while the dog covered him with gentle licks and protective nudges. Rex saved me, Tommy told the officers. I knew he would find me. I told the bad man that my dog was the best tracker in the world and he would come get me. The investigation revealed that Marcus Webb was a repeat offender who had been monitoring several playgrounds in the area, looking for children who followed predictable routines with distracted caregivers. Tommy had been his target for weeks before Webb finally found the right opportunity to strike. Webb had detailed notes about Tommy's schedule, his mother's habits, and the layout of Riverside Park. Agent Rodriguez explained during a press conference. This was a carefully planned abduction, not a crime of opportunity. Webb's house contained evidence of other planned abductions and materials, suggesting he was part of a larger network of predators who shared information about potential targets. Rex's tracking mission didn't just save Tommy, Agent Rodriguez continued. It led us to evidence that will help protect other children who were being targeted by this network. Amanda Foster, a canine behavior specialist, studied Rex's 50-mile tracking mission to understand how a pet dog had successfully followed a scent trail along busy highways and through multiple jurisdictions. Rex demonstrated tracking abilities that rival professionally trained search and rescue dogs, Dr. Foster explained. His bond with Tommy provided the motivation, but his natural abilities and informal training gave him the skills to complete this mission. The case highlighted the remarkable scent tracking capabilities of dogs and their ability to follow trails across distances and terrain that would challenge even experienced search teams. Rex's success proves that family dogs can possess extraordinary abilities when someone they love is in danger, Dr. Foster continued. His determination and skill saved Tommy's life. Rex's heroic tracking mission captured national attention and inspired communities to recognize the potential of family pets as protectors and rescuers. The story was featured in law enforcement publications and canine training programs. Rex shows us that heroes come in all forms, said Sarah Chen during a community event honoring Rex's achievement. He never gave up on finding Tommy, even when it meant traveling 50 miles and risking his own safety. The case also led to enhanced cooperation between law enforcement and animal control agencies in tracking missing persons cases where family pets might provide valuable assistance. Tommy recovered remarkably well from his traumatic experience, aided significantly by Rex's presence and the knowledge that his dog had literally moved mountains to find him. The bond between boy and dog grew even stronger through their shared experience. Rex proved that he'll always protect me, Tommy told a child psychologist during his recovery counseling. I'm not scared anymore because I know Rex will always find me. The family implemented new safety measures and protocols, but Tommy's confidence was restored by understanding that he had a four-legged guardian who would never stop looking for him if he were ever in danger again. 5 years after Rex's 50-mile tracking mission, the story continued to inspire search and rescue teams and families dealing with missing children cases. Rex became a symbol of determination and loyalty that transcended typical pet relationships. Rex teaches us that love can overcome any obstacle, Sarah reflected during an interview on the anniversary of Tommy's rescue. He didn't just track Tommy across 50 miles, he tracked him home to safety and proved that some bonds can never be broken. The experience had transformed their family's understanding of Rex's role in their lives and deepened their appreciation for the extraordinary capabilities of animals who love unconditionally. I still think about that afternoon when a 6-year-old boy disappeared from a playground and a German Shepherd mix broke through a car window to begin a 50-mile journey that would bring his boy home. If Rex had stayed in the car, if he'd waited for human rescuers to find Tommy, that little boy might have become another tragic statistic in the growing epidemic of child abductions. Rex's story teaches us something profound about the bonds between children and their animals. These aren't just pets, they're family members who will literally go to the ends of the earth to protect the ones they love. Rex didn't have professional training or advanced equipment. He had love, determination, and an unshakable belief that Tommy needed him. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever witnessed an animal's incredible ability to track or find someone across impossible distances? Have your pets shown loyalty and determination that amazed you? These bonds between animals and their families might be stronger than we realize. Share your experiences in the comments below, because at Saved by Tales, we believe that our four-legged family members possess capabilities that can save lives when love provides the motivation. If Rex's incredible story moved you, if it reminded you of the extraordinary lengths animals will go to protect their families, please share this video with other parents who need to know about the guardian angels walking on four paws. Hit that like button, subscribe to Saved by Tales, and help us continue telling the stories of animals whose love knows no distance, recognizes no obstacle, and never gives up on bringing their families home safely. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the greatest search and rescue teams come with wagging tails and hearts full of unwavering devotion.